Who were the Vikings? Ever wondered about the seafaring warriors from the north? Today, we're going to explore these enigmatic figures who've left an indelible mark on history. Originating from the Scandinavian regions of Europe, the Vikings were known for their prowess in battle, their adventurous spirit, and their intricate mythology. They were most active during what we now refer to as the Viking Age, spanning from the late 8th century to the early 11th century. This was a time of significant exploration, expansion, and cultural development. The Vikings weren't just warriors, they were traders, farmers, and explorers, venturing as far as North America, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East. Their influence can still be seen today in everything from language to legal systems, and even our understanding of navigation. Now, let's dive into the intriguing world of the Vikings, starting from their roots. The Vikings, also known as Norsemen, originated from Scandinavia, which includes modern-day countries of Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Their early life was one of simplicity, yet also harshness, as they grappled with the rugged landscapes and chilly climate of their homeland. Their society was divided into three main social classes: the nobles or jarls, the free farmers or carls, and the slaves or thralls. The nobles or jarls were the ruling class, often being chieftains or warriors of great renown. They lived in grand longhouses and were respected for their leadership and bravery in battle. The carls were the backbone of Viking society. These free farmers worked the land, raised livestock, and were also expected to fight when called upon. And then there were the thralls, slaves captured during Viking raids or born into servitude. They were at the bottom of the societal ladder, performing the most menial tasks. Despite the harshness of their environment, the Vikings were an innovative people. They mastered iron smelting, producing weapons and tools of superior quality. They were skilled boat builders, a talent that would later play a crucial role in their expeditions. But what led these Norsemen to venture out of their homeland? Several factors come into play. It's believed that overpopulation and the scarcity of arable land led to conflicts, prompting many to seek new territories. The political landscape was another factor. Power struggles among the nobles often resulted in exile for the losing parties, who then became wanderers, or Vikings. Their spiritual beliefs also played a part. The Vikings believed in a pantheon of gods who valued bravery and exploration. Stories of Odin, the god of wisdom, war and death, and Thor, the god of thunder, inspired them to seek glory beyond their borders. So, the seeds of exploration were sown in the fertile ground of necessity, ambition, and belief. The Vikings, once simple farmers and fishermen of Scandinavia, were about to set sail on a journey that would echo through the annals of history. Now that we know where they came from, let's explore their legendary journeys. The Vikings were renowned for their seafaring skills, and their voyages took them to far-off lands. Imagine a time when maps were incomplete and the world was full of unknown territories. The Vikings, these intrepid seafarers from Scandinavia, sought to fill in the blanks. Their long ships, expertly crafted and swift on the seas, carried them on audacious journeys across the waters of the known world. From their homelands in what are now Denmark, Sweden, and Norway, they ventured forth, driven by a potent cocktail of curiosity, ambition, and the lure of wealth. Their expeditions took them west to the British Isles, where they raided monasteries and battled kingdoms. They sailed south to Francia, modern-day France, where they besieged Paris and established the Duchy of Normandy. They journeyed east into the heartlands of Europe along the rivers of Russia, reaching as far as the Byzantine Empire and the Caspian Sea. But these were not just raiding parties. The Vikings were also traders and explorers. They established a network of trading routes crisscrossing Europe and Asia, exchanging goods from as far afield as North Africa and the Middle East. They traded in everything from furs and slaves to precious metals and exotic spices. The Vikings were also trailblazers. They sailed west across the uncharted waters of the North Atlantic, reaching Iceland, Greenland, and even North America, centuries before Christopher Columbus. Their settlements in these far-off lands were short-lived, but their voyages stand as testament to their daring and skill. In their wake, the Vikings left a trail of influence that shaped the course of history in the lands they visited. They founded cities, influenced cultures, and changed the course of politics and warfare. Their voyages were not always peaceful, but they were always impactful. The Vikings were not just raiders and explorers, they also had a rich culture and belief system. Let's delve into that next. Their story is one of courage, resilience, and a relentless thirst for discovery. A story that still fascinates us today as we continue to unravel the mysteries of their expeditions. Despite their fierce reputation, the Vikings had a complex culture and spiritual beliefs. The Vikings were not just seafaring warriors, they were also poets, artists, and deeply spiritual people. Their mythology, rich with gods and goddesses, monsters and heroes, offers a glimpse into their worldview. Odin, the All-Father, was revered for his wisdom and war prowess. Thor, with his mighty hammer Mjolnir, was the protector of mankind. And there were many others, each with their unique powers and tales, shaping the Vikings' understanding of the world and their place in it. Religion was intertwined with every aspect of Viking life. It informed their moral code, their laws, and their societal norms. From birth to death, every life event was imbued with spiritual significance. For instance, a newborn was welcomed with a naming ceremony invoking the god's protection. Art was another essential part of Viking culture. It served not just as a form of expression, but also as a storytelling medium. Intricately carved runestones, beautifully crafted jewelry, and ornate ship designs are just some examples of their artistic prowess. Through these, they immortalized their sagas, their gods, and their heroes. Literature, too, held a special place in their society. Skaldic poetry, a form of court poetry, was a popular genre. It was composed in honor of a king or a nobleman, recounting their exploits and victories. Epic poetry, on the other hand, was more personal and often dealt with themes of love, loss, and heroism. These poems, passed down orally from generation to generation, are a significant source of our knowledge about Viking culture today. The societal norms and laws of the Vikings were surprisingly progressive for their time. They had a well-structured legal system, and laws were decided collectively at a thing, a governing assembly. Women, too, held a relatively high status in Viking society. They could own property, divorce their husbands, and even become warriors. The Vikings' influence didn't end with their era. It extends to our modern world. This influence is evident not just in the English language, which has borrowed many words from Old Norse, but also in modern Scandinavian countries, where traces of Viking laws and societal norms can still be seen. The Vikings left a lasting impact on the world, influencing many aspects of our modern society. This influence can be seen in various facets of our contemporary life. Their era, a period of exploration, expansion, and cultural exchange, shaped the course of history, particularly in Europe, but also across the world. In language, for instance, many English words have Viking roots. Think of words like egg, knife, or window. In technology, their shipbuilding skills were unparalleled, influencing naval architecture for centuries to come. And let's not forget popular culture. From films to video games, the fierce and adventurous spirit of the Vikings continues to capture our imagination. In essence, the Vikings were not just warriors. They were explorers, pushing boundaries of the known world. They were traders, fostering economic exchanges. And they were culture shapers, their legacy still echoing in our present day. So, the next time you hear about the Vikings, remember, they were more than just warriors. They were explorers, traders, and culture shapers who left an indelible mark on our world.